in LA. 24 I basically loved every minute of it. I mean, hey, a lot of fun. Compared to where I'm at right now, people, this is fun. You don't know what fun is, man. This is you do not know. Now, 24 years moved out there. It was March of 1998. Didn't know any. I knew of one person, and they let me stay on their couch for like a week, so I could, get a car and rent an apartment. Actually, a house. I rented a house. And Los Angeles has changed since then. Times march on. There was actually people. There was actually creative people then. Not some kind of Blaine on a tablet or a phone trying to look how smart I am with this phone. Yeah, okay. Uh-huh. And forgive me, man, it is hot, humid. I'm gonna be sweating. Yeah. Let's move on. So, Los Angeles. I love California. This is the thing about California, man. It gets a bad rap. Yes, there's crazy shit going on. It's a small group of people that basically run California, and now I guess America or the world. They have nothing to do with the arts. Los Angeles, Hollywood, that was the Venice Beach. That was like the number one tourist attraction like in the world. Can you imagine how hard it was to fuck that up? Which they have. They don't want you having any forward momentum. They they can't be around. They're only confident in their insecurities, these new types of people. And who are these people? And what has happened to people, man? Even people I know, dear Lord. They have these same actions, these same reactions, the same cadence, the same everything. People I knew that were cool. Now you can't damn near talk to them. A lot of people I used to know have changed. I mean, they're like, you've changed. You haven't changed. Yeah, for the fine, whatever you're doing, I ain't gonna. LA was so cool. You get a bag of avocados for $1. I know I sound like an old man. Bag of avocados for $1, but you could. That's all I would eat. Was like avocados and street tacos, and for 20 years. Where I'm at now, they want $1 per avocado, and I don't even know where they get these avocados. They're either hard as a rock or like black and already gross. Yeah, I miss LA, and I miss LA back in the day. Not as much when I left. It was they just fired 4,000 sheriffs, and at the time I was living in Arcadia, which is like a suburb. It's near Pasadena. It's a Chinese area, or mostly, I should say. And it was safe. A little bit more expensive sometimes, but it was safe. Nice park there. There's stuff going on. They fired those 4,000 sheriff deputies, and like overnight, it's tagging. People are casing the neighborhood. There's weirdos. It's just like you're gonna need those 4,000 sheriffs. I left a month early. I was supposed to wait. I was, I'm out here. Some other stuff happened, but I was like, I'm done. I that's why I had to leave a lot of. I was selling my Mercedes. I wanted to buy like a van, something bigger. Nope. Let's go. Let's just go. And every generation, things change. Like when I got to in '98, when I was first got to LA, I was like, oh my God, this is great. This is what I've been hearing about. I feel like, oh, you should have been here in the '80s, and then you meet, oh, you should have been here in the '70s, and then you meet older, the '50s were the. So I get that. Every generation, there's. But the industry's gone, meaning it's just gone. It's all like reality shows, and all those studios are gone, uh, and the ones that are left probably be gone soon too. They're building other studios and elsewhere, and it's California's expensive, dangerous. Um, it's not good. But it used to be like on a weekend night. I mean, I lived like a block and a half off of Sunset. These little houses and apartment buildings, and like people were, again, for one, you always heard music, people playing guitar or singing or doing their lines, or a guy in his driveway. He was a set designer doing building some kind of crazy, this, that, and the other. Now it's all green screens and that, and people don't have any talent, so they don't need to be doing that. It used to be fun. I used to be just like walking around my neighborhood. Hey, you want to go to? We're having a party. Come on over. Okay. For years, it started around like started getting real, and like for like 2010 maybe. That's when I was like, you know what? I'm moving to Pasadena. Pasadena's right outside of Hollywood. Little drive, not too far. Nice. I mean, there's bad parts of Pasadena, and Pasadena can be expensive, but it's nice, and it's college town kind of. Pasadena, In 2010, I moved to Pasadena. Realized I was like, okay, I don't want to do gigs anymore. That's meaning my band, my art shows. How can I have people bring me $100 bills to my front door? So I'm contemplating, you know what? I'll teach vocal lessons. And that's what I did for like 6 years straight. Didn't have a job besides that. And I also like flip guitars and sell cars. Ingenuity. I just had to think of something. Hey. And then there was this phenomenon that I discovered that, like, because you're around, I mean, birds of a feather stick together. You're around people that are struggling and stuff. Then you start doing a little bit on your own, and then you doing something like independently, besides like not most of the people I knew, the opportunities they got was from cronyism. Meaning they knew a dude and they're people, and then how Jesse, where'd all this? They got that is a cottage industry. Nepotism, favoritism, crony. I say a lot in my podcast, but it's true. And honestly, I'm not even really against that if I'm involved. I know that sounds hypocritical, but it's the truth. Hey. And then realize, like, how many people I got artists that are like, oh yeah, kissing my ass like you would not believe. I'm getting them art shows, this, that, and the other. My house is always packed. Come home to a party, like my roommate, we're having a party. Sometimes it'd be cool. Sometimes it's like, oh man, I just need to go home and sleep. When you switch gears or do something else that's more, I'd say, positive, because it's not about like party and this, that, and other. Get your shit together. They don't come around. I lived in Pasadena for 6 years, and some of my closest friends I had in LA, I thought, visited me once. And then when I moved to Arcadia and I got like a bigger house, 2-bedroom house, doing both a yard. See, having a yard and a shed and just a driveway, off-street parking, you not believe how important that is. And that puts you up. And even though I had, like, in LA standards, a shitty house, some people don't want to. Again, they're more confident in their insecurities. I lived in Arcadia for 6 years. I had people that never came to visit once in 6 years. Not once. No, I didn't internalize that. It's just like, wow, maybe I made a mistake thinking they were my friend. Why would you not want to come to my house? It's cool here. So you make new friends. I met people in Arcadia. I've always got, social going on. I mean, I'm a likable person. There's always something, hey, we're doing whatever we were doing. I'd set up a studio in the front room, Pro Tools and this and that and the other, and doing my thing. Matter of fact, I was recording. I recorded other people. I didn't even have time to. I never demoed one of my songs when I had that studio, because I was getting paid to help these others. So fuck it. And quite honestly, I got more out of it seeing people, you know, following their dreams and or getting them to that point that they can record. I had people that were with me for pretty much a couple of years. It took them when they started, and then you get them to the point where they can record. They're ready to do songs. They're hey, but they do other things. You know, I had people that were studying with me for a while that were higher up than me. I had plastic surgeons, man, that lived like in the Hollywood Hills. I was teaching. I had deans of colleges. I had everybody. I was teaching vocal lessons, singing, vocal, and some people just want to, to command your voice, to know how to breathe. That changes your life. Our insecurities come out through what we say and how we hold ourselves. And you teach person that gives them confidence, like, oh wow, this is what I got. Then some people you can't reach, like you're just not gonna. But LA, there are opportunities in Los Angeles that probably don't exist unless you're in New York, and maybe those aren't exist, or like any kind of bigger city. There's this jobs that, like my last job in LA, I was on the microphone salesman, a wireless microphone, like in the doorway, hey, or in the back, come on, like selling the tourist. Everything's $5. I mean, it got rough sometimes, but man, it was cool. I was left alone as long as I was making money. I could make pretty good money in my world. Like I go in for 5 hours, make $300. Bam! To me, that's good, and I didn't have to work that hard. It's something I already do. Like I can talk on the mic all day long. And then you can't think. Like with me, I'm like, I know how much money I just made them, and they just gave me 300. I know there's overhead and this and that they own, and the stuff, and they have to buy, and insurance and capitalism's involved, blah blah, taxes and shit. But man, I made you over 30 grand. I get 300. Okay, I get it. Fine. Where else am I going to get 300 in 5 hours? Yet I didn't go to school. I mean, I did a little bit, but I don't have like some kind of degree, and I do not do. Again, I've had a little bit of cronyism and nepotism in my life as well, but I don't concept that. That's not the only thing. I don't do that. I've seen people change doing that in Los Angeles too, which is part of me. There was a saying, sometimes your worst days in LA are better than your best days back home because you're still like in the sun, awesome food, just opportunity, just, hey, cheap beer. The 99-cent store, dude, they had a liquor section at the 99-cent. You get tall beers for like 99 cents. That's a good time. Go in there and shop for it, get everything. They said melons and big kind of, just get everything and spend $20 and hey, it's a party. Can't do that where I'm at now. It's okay. The rent is cheaper here, but everything else is more expensive. So it kind of averages out. I've learned that. I'm going on my 6th month out of California. At 24 years I was there. I thought I didn't even leave. I got there. I was like, I haven't been back. I haven't seen anybody. And people move on. I get it. And they're mad that you didn't come in, whatever. Be blessed. And nobody. This is another thing. People move on. They have families. I'm 51 now. I get it. But when I was in LA, and in my Facebook, see where I'm at now. I used to live here when I was younger, and people I don't ever find anybody on Facebook. I'm never going to ask for a friend. None of that. They all come to me. That ain't a thing. It's just that I'm lazy. I don't want to fucking, hey, I'm thinking about this other things. Oh, yeah, I'll make you my friend, whatever. So these people were like, oh, and then it's like, I'm here. We're all young. I posted my Facebook. Hey, I'm back here. No, nothing. Just, I haven't seen anybody. It's kind of like in LA when I was in Arcadia. And I've also had friends around here. And I get it. They're like, hey, man, I mean, you're kind of making my head spin with all these stories. I mean, because they haven't experienced what I get it. I feel. I have empathy. You know how much fun I've had and experiences I've done? I know it sounds stupid, but I've lived like a life of 1,000 men. I'm lucky to be alive, especially as healthy as I am. Well, I'm not that, but hey, I'm alive and kicking. But I miss not only I miss the old California that I was used to. Still, California is cool. It'll come back, but they want to um, change. They are changing California. I mean, that's it's sad too because Californians, man, are the most Americana, hard-working, go-getting people I've ever met, man. They get a bad rap. It's not the people, it's these politicians and these small, hey, people are people everywhere. And it's when the sun's out, it's like 70 something degrees. There's a breeze. There's so much shit going on during the day. There's so many bands. There's so many stand-ups. There's this and that. Why are you bored? Unless you just don't have money. I mean, even if you don't have money, you can just go give shit. Then you meet these people that grew up in California and spoiled, rich families, like lived in the pool house till they were 50 or whatever. And then their parents died and they left them some money. They went through that. And yeah, they don't get it. And I've met a lot of people. I've been not the landlord, but I've had, like, this is my thing. I would rent a place, like a 2-bedroom house, because I don't want to live in an apartment dealing with all those other people. Get a house. Who cares if it's in the bad? You'll figure it out. The windows are broke. Fix it. Put a piece of board. You want a little bit of space in a driveway. Another thing, having a driveway. I mean, just parking on the street in LA, shit's going to happen. People are going to steal your cars. It's going to be towed for no reason. Tickets, this and that. It's crazy. People like breaking into your car to nap or sleep or use it as a bathroom. Unfortunately, that's happened. So I'd have a house. So if I had if I had money, I would just have it. I'd have a 2-bedroom, just live there myself. Or I would do the LA trick where you search, like it takes you forever to find one. It's cheap because it's in this certain area. Then you split you like, say if I paid like $1,500, I'd say, hey, the rent room is $1,000. All utilities, whatever, and then I'd pay $500 and take care of the, that's the LA trick. Everybody does it, man. It's been going on before I was even born. They do that. In New York, they do the same thing. Find a rent control place. So I had tenants basically. I wasn't the landlord, kind of like the semi-landlord, And people freak out and try to, again, these people are begging you to move in. You don't know who they are. You're kind of venting to who's cool, whatever. And then they a lot, drinking, drugs, this, I don't even know, man. And of course it's your problem. Like, what? I'd give them 30 days. Like, dude, as soon as you got 30 days, man. I'll put it in writing. No, I'm sorry. Now, see, sometimes I'd let people come back if they were cool and changed or went to rehab or whatever. Done that a couple times. I mean, LA, again, stuff happens in LA probably around here. My dog, Simon, that I have now, he was left by a roommate. He was mean. I'd never petted him. My other dog didn't like him. And then her family shows up to get her stuff. And it's just like, we're going to take him to the pound. I'm like, no, you ain't going to take him to the pound. I mean, I don't even like him, but he's not going to the LA pound. I can do that, man. I got a heart. I'll win him over with snacks. And that's it. Now we're, I've had him 6 years, man. He was left, abandoned. Then I had another roommate move in. I've always wanted a dog. And him and Simon kind of click up and, he's sleeping in, in his bed and they're, then they pull a freak. Again, just a lot of times I've had problems with trust fund. People that had money come for money, but they have drug problems and they blame everybody, Then he went off the rails. And then when he left, he was doing so bad. I go, look, man, don't take Simon. No, I'm taking Simon. So he did. Okay. Because he claimed he had adopted him. So I think, all right. And he loved Simon. And I thought he did. Simon loved him. He left. And he calls me like a month later, like, you got to come get Simon, man. I admit it. I'm not doing well. And I'm probably going to do worse. And I can't take care of Simon. So I went and got Simon. He was so happy to be back to see me. Simon was like, and see PJ, mother dog. And they're spoiled rotten. They're used to, like, I had a backyard or a patio. It wasn't grass. It was like brick and dirt. And all day long, I had a sliding glass door. They had dog beds, and I had a recliner out there for them, and they're just their toys and chasing squirrels and just laying in the sun all day. Now I'm back here in Illinois. They don't have that. I have to walk them. They're in the house. They're in this small apartment, and they're kind of going crazy because they're spoiled. They're used to being like David Lee Roth. Wish they all could be, they just like, they want to be. Me too. But shit changes. I needed to get out of California. And I like where I'm at. I like my apartment. It's small, but I mean, it's got high roofs. It's in LA, this would be kind of considered a big apartment because they're so small. I've had really small apartments. Like my apartment in Pasadena, nice area, was 12 by 10 foot squared. What's that, 120? I mean, it was just a room, and everything was in there. My bed, my refrigerator, the microwave stand with all that. You could barely move. And then I had a chair and my computer. You had to go to the bathroom. You had to move it out of the way or you'd fall, I love that place. 6 years I was there. Probably would still be there if I'm sitting there one day and knock on the door and there's these two people. Yeah, we're doing every 6 or 10 years we do an inspection. We're from the county or the city, whatever. Step out, please. With their laminates on, their boards and this and that. Oh yeah, sure, come on. They're in there less than a minute. Come out. Oh no, this doesn't match. This is a legal dwelling. You have 72 hours to vacate. What are you talking about? I've been here 6 years. This is my home. Not anymore. It's not. What? 72 hours. I had a Mercedes, a 300 series, like 72 hours, man. Okay, I got to figure some stuff out. Trying to look for a place because in 3 days is you got to look and search for a right place. And I don't want this, that. So I was like, man, I got to sell my Mercedes. What am I going to do? So I'll sell it and buy like maybe a van if I have to put a bed. I don't know. I can't find a place. You say, I've had to do that before. Not for long, but And some dude shows up with a minivan. He's already got a bed in it, like a twin bed. I mean, it's nice, but it's not worth my Mercedes. He's like, look, I'll give you like the van plus like $2,000 and we'll swap them. See, maybe. Yeah. Okay. Because I've only got another 48 hours to. So luckily I didn't have to move into this. I found a place. When I first went to Arcadia, I met the person that was renting the house that I ended up having. I went in, I was like, no, because they were doing that. Like, you can't use the kitchen. You got this, that. You got to stay in your room. No, but it was, a house, but I didn't get along with her, and not didn't get along, but So I picked Studio City. This guy was renting a place. He seemed cool. So that night I was like, okay, I'll be there at like 11. Start moving in. Sure, no problem. Thank you, Charlie. I'm looking forward. Get up the next day. He calls me. Oh, I've changed my mind. Change your mind? Yeah, I'm not renting the room. Like, wow, thanks. I mean, shit. So I call the lady in Arcadia, like, hey, I'll move in. And this thing, always get receipts. I have my own receipt book. Hey, just for one, I taught lesson, so I have to move in first month, last month, deposit, like thousands of dollars to move in. I want it all on paper. I want this, fill this out, okay. She was cool enough to come to find out. I'd never met the landlord. I was there for like 2 months with her. So I put my deposits down, paid the second month's rent. She got into some problems, moved out. He shows up one day. He's like, "Who the hell are you?" The tenant. I've been paying rent. Well, no, you're not. She hasn't paid me. What are you talking about? Yeah, she hadn't paid me forever. She owes me a lot of money. You got to go. Well, no. For one, you just can't come in here. I don't care how, there's laws. There's, hey, call the cops. Okay, he called the cops. Cops come. I have receipts. I have that. The cop's like, hey, man, he's right. He's in the right. He's paid deposits and stuff. You can't, it's going to take you, and you better be nice to him, because if he has like 3 months to 6 months, he couldn't even pay you and you still wouldn't. But I wouldn't do that. I didn't. I was like, look, man, it is what it is. He's like, yeah, you know what? It'll take me forever to find a place. He asked the neighbors. They like me. He's like, look, but you got to start all over. I want deposits and land. What? I already paid. Not to me. So I literally had like $5,000 in my savings. Went through it in those 2 months because I had to give her $2,500, whatever. Then him another 20. But at the time I was having fun, and now it's my house. I got rid of, fixed it up, get rid of all her stuff, clean, get rid of all that stuff she had, and went out. I knew the people that ran the liquor store. They were cool. They're from India. And I got to know all of them, and their kids became friends. And they're like, hey, so-and-so needs a room. He's a trust fund kid. All right, he moved in. You just never know. Just got to keep on, again, the follow through. I talked about the other day. But those 24 years in Los Angeles, I learned a lot. It's like I got some kind of PhD in street knowledge or something. People aren't aware of certain things that I am the doctor of, basically. And to break that down, to make that simple, is there's certain things that happen or I'm aware of that don't affect me. I don't internalize. Again, that's another hillbilly thing. Don't internalize anything. Especially if it just happened and you don't know what happened. Just go about your, I'm just moseying along. Sorry to hear about that. But, just go. You're having a bad day, go to the 99-cent store and get a bunch of avocados and make a bunch of guacamole and get some of these beers. They were like big canned beers for like $1. And they were all weird, though. Like my favorite, they were from Laos. Laotian beer. They were amazing. Couldn't read what did they say? And then German beers too. Make some guac, get some corn tortillas and cut them in fours and cook them, like make chips, like real potato logs. And, I was always like making bacon, avocado sandwiches. They're the bomb. And if you want people to be around at home, I always wanted I cook every day. I mean, not around here. Sometimes I do. It's been so hot I can't cook. But I like to cook. I like it to be at home, cooking and, cleaning, sweeping every day. There's certain things you need to be doing. Keep your mind set, Cleanliness is next to godliness kind of shit. But making it mine. It just doing me, doing mines. And yeah, of course, I would want better. There was times in LA where I was doing better, shacked up with my girlfriend at the time who was doing really well. Or girlfriend, they've always said, it's funny how your girl always had if they've got stairs and a devil, that they're doing good. And things change, you just roll with the punches. So yeah, there was times where I'd want to do better. Sometimes my friends, again, trust fund kids, dad's a doctor back in so-and-so, sending them money, making fun of me because I have to work. It's like, dude, that guitar that you got, you always talk about how long you've had it. Your dad bought for you, man. My guitars, I buy or have built for me, custom made. You know how many guitars I've had? Every kind of, I can't even count how many Les Pauls I've had. I'm serious when I say I've had 100 Les Pauls. Yeah, I've sold them because I used to flip them. I like this for a while. Then you offer you money and you do it. There was times where I've had, oh, I'm never going to sell this. And somebody plays it like, dude, I'll give you $3,000. Like right now, go get the money. Okay. Now it's his guitar. I've had guitars where I bought back. I sold them, then I bought them back, and I saw it come back. I've had this one guitar I had like 3 times. It was a cool guitar. But yeah, Los Angeles, LA, it gets a bad rep, man. I know that people are like, oh, see those people. Yeah, some of a little small group. But there's a war on those people. Many of the Californians aren't what people think. Dude, you know how much work it takes to keep California going? The supply chain, hello, just in Los Angeles. You know how much toilet paper they need? And bottled water and everything else. It takes a, most people are hardworking. Most people just want to do their thing. There's opportunity out there and they work hard and they're rewarded. I have the same thing with me. People would always say, like, what are you? Then find out, like, oh, yeah, I'm a hillbilly from Smithville, Tennessee. And they can't wrap their head around that. How? See, no. Granted, my dad was a doctor and my grandparents owned a restaurant. I mean, we're, go-getters. But they just didn't understand. They thought everything had to be given to them. Or there was, somebody holding the door for them. Holding the door. All I know how to do is kick in the door. That's what I do. We're not physically kicking people to the door, but just going and doing what you're going to do. Hanging in there, making sure that, oh, you'll never do that. I'm doing it. Then once you do it, oh, you got lucky. Okay, whatever. Again, I'm talking about like people are changing. What's happened to people, man? What is it? It's just me. Is it everywhere? I bet it is. I could go anywhere. And stuff's just a little different. But I'm going to keep on doing mine. Again, I'm doing this every day on the daily doing my podcast. It'll look better. I know my window, hey, I promise I'll work harder and buy better stuff. I mean, I'm doing it. It's in the works. But I got to get out here. I love y'all. Again, every day. I'll be here. Come hell or high water. I'll be here. Y'all have a great day, man. Keep that good fight. Be blessed. I love y'all. See you tomorrow. Cheers.